Hey.
Hey, girl.
What's up, buddy?
Welcome back to the West Coast.
Fuck me. Feels good.
Pleasant trip, I assume.
Look, man, I don't regret doing it, but I'll never do it again as long as I live, I think. But
baby,
I did it.
Because baby?
Well, baby was part of it, but also we drove over 8,000 miles and we're gone for 2 months. Mm-hmm. And you're no stranger. You were going up and down between, but it was by the time, like, getting home yesterday felt so fucking good. Like, I've described it as what heroin must feel like twice today to people on the phone. Because it's just like, and the baby all yesterday.
So also you were doing heroin the whole last 2 months also.
Yeah, so I know what it's like. You got to. It's a pandemic and everything's spiking. You can't go out. So
speaking of spiking, who's got some H-train? Who's got a little got a little vein dragon for the
wants
daddy?
To ride a horse. Ride the horse. That's what people say. Like, who wants to ride a horse?
Just a new junkie. You guys want to go horseback riding? Who's this nerd?
Yeah.
Fell off my horse. That's how he describes ODing. I fell off a horse.
A horse kicked me off and then kicked me in the face. That's why I quit. It was an experience. I mean, it was, it was fun to be in old New Orleans when the vote was called. That was something.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Everybody a hooting and a hollering.
Yeah. A lot of honking. We were in the Garden District at the time. A family of Southern stock was walking by with their kid in a red wagon, and the guy would just buy Dawn painted on his shirt.
Yeah. And
I'm changing Rose in the trunk of the car, and he's like, "She gonna have a better life." Kept walking.
I don't know. I got mobility, so I'm going to move. So I'm looking at you more than the.
Okay.
I got cameras there, but then the screen's there.
You're all set up. What are you? What's with the layout?
I'm gonna be a YouTube star.
Oh, well, yes. Okay. Sorry. Dumb question.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some sweet tits. And
I know you're always working on the online stuff, which I'm me too as well. But like, is it going to be like some kind of YouTube Kyle Speaks show?
No, I'm just gonna show off my sweet tits, make $1 million.
Perfect. Done.
That's all you got to do.
It's in the bank.
Fucking just
in the fucking bank.
Flop out your cans, dump out your cake, make $1 million. That's all you need.
Just dump your cake crumbs right out.
We've been trying to be good at stuff this whole time. You just got to dump your cans out.
It's like
that's all it takes.
That's all you need to do. I wonder how many YouTube stars went mad during COVID because they're already at home all the time anyway. Doing their shit, and then the thing of like the thing they ignored the most, getting out, got taken away completely. So it's like,
well, you didn't do the travel. I like how I want to ask these people that live in the vans, like the nice custom vans. I'm like, does anybody do that without trying to become a YouTube star, or is that the only avenue to make a living? It's like, I live in a van, but now van life, man, check it out. And they're just YouTube stars that have manufactured an interesting situation to be a YouTube star. I'm like, I don't think you wanted this van life. You just want to make money from YouTube, where I was cynical at one point. Honestly, if it's presented as a way to make a living for everybody, it's like, I got a college degree, and the world's like, well, that doesn't mean shit. And you owe us $200,000.
Yes.
Why not?
Oh yeah.
I got to be less cynical about it.
I mean, I think a lot of us were a little cynical at first at your YouTube comedians, but after about a month, we were kind of like, I can't. Who? No one like can tell. You can't tell anybody like some kid's making $50,000 a week. I'm just like, what? I can't be like,
oh yeah, I'm throwing pebbles at a tank. Like, it doesn't matter.
What the fuck? Who? Yeah.
But when you come and want to do a drop in on a show, and blow the light bombing in front of people who know what live comedy is supposed to look like, then I will have
that sucks. With you. That sucks. And it was odd to see them, the kind of deers in a headlight at any actual comedy club. And you're kind of like, well, you've already shot yourself down before you got to the stage. So you probably shouldn't go up there.
Yeah.
I know which is how I'm isn't getting any of your YouTube money. So they want you to get out there more for
that
them.
I know that was Kara, but it looked like the 3 Men and a Baby ghost coming in the reflection behind you. Like, oh man, look out.
It's a ghost of another mom and child going by.
But yeah, I haven't been, I'm not out doing shows and I'm not rushing to do it. It doesn't look like as much it was getting close. It looks like it's going to get worse given the winter. I'm like, all right, here I am doing my little projects, doing a little kind of the drunken Bob Vila kind of thing.
I love it. Yeah. I'm trying to make more little videos and stuff I'm just keeping Rose off everything, Right? I put her up on Instagram. There's a big rose over her face, which most everyone understands, but there's always that one guy that's just like, can you really tell a baby from another baby? And I'm like, it just sounds like you want to see my kid now, you weirdo. Like, why does it bother you?
Yeah, you don't want to market your child until they've got recognizable features.
Yeah, exactly. Then
you want to be like, that's the kid we need. Get me that kid.
Go in for that commercial. Fuck, I remember when we moved to LA, and I was going out for commercial auditions, and there'd be people with their kids. And more often than not, they were like, you could look at them and be like, oh, it didn't work for you. So you're forcing this poor kid to live your dream. And, more often than not, the kid's like, somewhat into it at least, but.
Did you ever see it's called the Hollywood Complex?
Oh, that structure that's right off that fucking hill in Burbank.
Off Barham Boulevard.
Yes.
It used to be called the Oaks or the Oakwood.
Yeah, no, I never saw that. I got to check.
Okay.
I avoided
people,
it. It scared me.
Now I'm going to talk to the audience. So I go switch.
Yeah, tell them what it is. Tell them what it is.
It was a documentary about this apartment. Like it was furnished apartments right by Warner Brothers Studios, and it's basically where all the parents with kids that wanted to be child actors would live. And it's that movie's been, I think it's over 10 years old, but it was pretty haunting because it was, you could tell there was some parents that were like, that's what their kid wants. And like, just like you've got a kid that's like somewhat successful at sports. So you're like, all right, we're going to see how far they can go with being a football player or anything.
Sure. Yeah.
And some, like you could tell some of them, it's like, oh, the kid was cute, but then puberty hit and like the appeal, like, oh, the kid's not cute anymore. And then they're still trying to make it work for that kid. And then I just remember one where it's like it's some religious bonkers, like, we think the Lord wants us to spread the message of his faith by entering all 6 of our kids into show business. And then just cuts to one kid. He's like, I sleep underneath the snack table. It's like, oh, goddamn. God.
Oh, yeah. That's it's so fucking sad. I remember I was on I think the first ad I booked was like a Slurpee ad with SpongeBob SquarePants. And I was like in a glass bottom boat with other tourists, and we looked through the glass and SpongeBob went by, and I was supposed to make a face like, whoa. And this kid had the one line, and he was there all day with his tutor. Like he would just go study and come back and study and do another thing. Mm-hmm. And in between takes, I just started like riffing, just cutting up, just making like, just looking down and being like, Alex Trebek, why is he down there? Like bullshit. Right. And the kid would look at me and start cracking up, and he would look around like, oh, like you can do that? And I would kind of give him a nod and like, hey, like you do whatever you want, kid. But he was so happy to see someone just being like, fuck it a little bit. Like he wanted to, I don't know. It was that thing. I was driving home that night, and it kind of broke my heart. 'Cause I was like, oh, he just wanted to play. He's like a 9-year-old kid that's not playing. He's just on this fucking Hollywood set. And then he goes back with his tutor. And then back, and I don't know. It's like not that anyone wanted to be a child star, knowing what we know, but I'm glad I didn't miss out on the the hijinks and the bullshit of a public school education.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not too many of them that make it out okay, I don't think.
No. Yeah, I don't think so. It'd be perfect if this was this show, like we were former child stars. Like people are looking at screenshots of us right now.
We could just call this the two Coreys and people be like, what? And like, yeah, it just had a certain.
It's just a way to design to get more eyes on us. Well, hopefully it works out.
What were the highlights of your cross country trip? How'd it go, man? Tell me. I love driving cross country. I understand different situation for yourself, but
no, it was. I mean, it was. There was a lot of awesome shit. There's like we stayed in this, in what is it, Staunton, West Virginia. It's a small town, and this guy converted this like old mill into rooms you can stay in, and they're incredible. Like you walk in and be like, I would buy this condo, but everything's kind of like the outside is very old, and you just get a code to the door. You never see anyone. It's just made for COVID. Yeah. And New Orleans was awesome because we just got like Saturday, we just took the baby around to outdoor drinking areas and then, in bed by like 8:30. And then
somewhere you could lock a stroller up with an eyesight.
Sure.
It's like me with my bikes. I'm like, I don't want. I'll lock it up down the block. I just don't want to be out of eyes shot with it.
No, yeah, it's there. Stay right there.
Good sketch, by the way. If you want to just go and like pull that stroller up with the kid in it and just lock it to a bike rack and then go drinking.
Just film that and then run back. Sorry, honey.
Okay. The kid's locked. The kid is locked to the stroller. The stroller's locked to the bike rack.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's fine. And just living in Mansfield, the little town in Massachusetts, and just being like, just getting coffee, taking walks, drinking in outdoor areas, it was great. Like I loved that month of living there, of like having another life, and also having like the in-laws and her sister to be like, oh, can you watch Rose? Great.
Take my child from me.
Because now I've been here 2 days and have been full-time watching the kid, and it's a lot. It's a lot.
Time to be daddy.
I'm full on Mr. Mom.
That's all right, man. What else is going on?
I'm happy to have the gig, but fuck, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. That's all right. I got all this stuff set up now for streaming, and it's a matter of time before my dick's on the internet. Like, not on purpose, just the fact that now everything's on, but I don't know when it's on. I've created my own prison.
You're going Jeffrey Toobin then? You're tubing?
We're calling it going tubing. I'm like, I guess
that's what I'm calling it now. That's it. I mean, I think the anti-goal is to do something like that gets your last name is now the thing, is now, like you were picking your butthole and didn't realize the camera was on a live stream. And then what are you doing, Kinane?
I saw, I forget where we got off a flight, and there was just some dumpy family getting off the flight. And this kid had on loose sweatpants as it was. And he was just reaching in there. Like he was trying to puppet his own self. Like this kid had his hands so far up his own ass.
Hold on one
just
second.
In the airport.
Are you trapped? Hold on.
You can get trapped in your house? What?
Got it.
You leave for 1 month and you can't even get out of rooms in your own home?
These ghosts, man. They followed us. It's okay. It's okay. It's good. You're carrying a baby. So yeah. It's okay. Yeah, we can keep that too, by the way, Jake.
We can keep all of it. It's all gold.
You're right. It's all gold.
Slice of life.
Keep it moving.
Oh. Check it out, butt.
The baby butt.
Baby butts. That's it. We can't. Zoom's going to shut us off. Zoom's going to cancel it. Look at them turkey legs.
Yeah, right.
Look at just base those in butter and gravy. Get those ready.
She got thick and round. Has a great big great big honeydew-sized head too, which is awesome.
We can't make jokes like that because we're part of the Hollywood elite. You know, we're cannibals.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
But then you see a baby and you're like, I could see, like, I wouldn't want to eat a person, but I could see eating a baby. Like a baby's just like, yeah, like I'd take a bite out of that baby.
Pretty delicious. Just ask Tom Hanks.
He's like the butcher. You mean the butcher of Hollywood, Tom Hanks?
That's when I found that out.
The butcher of the Hollywood Hills, Tom Hanks.
When I found that out, that he's like, you know, QAnon says he's like the ultimate, he just drinks baby blood. Mm-hmm. Like, because you just realize that's the one guy who could be like, hey, you know what? I think this Trump guy's crazy. And even certain Trumpers would be like, oh man, damn it. All he does is make movies about how the military is great, and he's the nicest guy in the world.
That's why he's trying to kiss our ass so much to hide the fact that he's drinking all his baby blood to stay Tom Hanks.
They cut him off in the past before he could ever do any damage to Trump whatsoever. Like,
yeah, that's actually an edited scene from Bachelor Party. Is they are eating babies and part of it, and they're like, we can either have the one where the horse ODs. Ironically enough, I think on heroin, a horse fell off a horse in Bachelor.
Yeah, well, what drug did they didn't get?
I think it was a bunch of coke.
Cocaine.
I think the horse.
Had to be like
the horse did a bunch of coke.
Like the wild friend got cocaine for the party.
Plus, I mean, think about the nostrils on a horse.
Yeah,
there's no bump.
And also like that era, even the nice guy, I don't party much, Tom Hanks character would have like a gram in his pocket, like without a doubt. He'd have his weekend coke.
80s
just 2 lines on a Saturday. That's all he does.
I mean, if you really wanted to drag him, you go after bosom buddies, I guess, for being culturally insensitive.
Right. For them taking an apartment that was meant for women.
Yeah. So that would be a thing. I don't know, man. Yeah, we're just I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I'm just getting weird.
Yeah. That's good, man.
It's kind of. Yeah, I mean, Rachel's no help. She's getting weird too. We got no checks and balances over here.
She weirding it up in the next room?
She's out roller skating somewhere, talking to the cat. I don't know.
Sure.
You've got no, like I said, man, no checks and balances. I did a show the other week, and it's like the second show I've done since March. And I don't know if I said it before. It's like, I don't know if you've done any shows at all, live shows.
No, I was supposed to do one at a drive-in with some other comics that were like a Levity Live thing.
Oh, you're saying that, yeah.
And the air quality was just. I'd spent the day driving around to get a purifier. Yeah, I told the story, but like my lungs were burning, and I was like, I'm not driving an hour each way and waiting outside, you know. And they were cool about it. Thank you, Levity. Appreciate it.
Yeah. But it was one of those, like, you're saying stuff, and then it turned like, oh man, are these jokes, or have I just been creating a manifesto? I don't know. I guess I got yelled at by somebody online for making a joke about using sage, not even making fun of sage, but that I use sage. First Nations person came at me real hot. Saying that it's cultural appropriation to use sage, and so I have to research that because really? I didn't know that.
Look, I'm not surprised. I mean, every one of those, like, it's spiritual. You look, and this white yoga monk took it from. I mean, yoga itself, you know, but. At the same time, I mean, what did you say? I need to sage my room of these.
No, I was telling you, it was an old bit from a thing where right after Trump won, and I was like, democracy failed. So I've been saging my apartment. So I'm like, I got to try new stuff because democracy failed.
Okay, sure.
And so she got offended at that, but it's like, she came at me with an attack as opposed to like, actually, it's not my job. It's not my job to ask someone else to educate me on something. But all right, listen, white people don't have their own culture. So they're going to take some stuff. And also, you guys didn't invent everything. All right. Everything.
It's the approach. Like, I get it's at that thing where we're, and I've been guilty of this more times than I could count, but just being like, you should have known that. So fuck you. And it's like, well, like, how about not start where I'm already being told to be fucked? And then,
it was demanded that I apologize and retract, and then I needed to educate myself. So I educate myself. I look up sage, and it's like it originated in the Mediterranean, and the Romans used it. I'm like, well, I'm part Italian, so I got enough right to fucking use it too. Then what the hell?
yeah.
Anyway, I responded hotly, and I don't know if the lady's watching this. Probably not. Probably wants nothing to do with me. But I responded in kind with the aggression that I was approached with, and I shouldn't have done that.
It's hard not to. Look, I mean, we've all been sniping at each other online, and then all those snipes got together and formed a man, and he thankfully just lost the election. So.
But yeah, it's like you try to make jokes about. I have a new joke about how I used chopsticks to eat hot Cheetos because I didn't want to get my fingers dirty, and I'm like, I don't know if that's bringing people and cultures together or if it's offending two different groups of people.
I feel like being as careful as you can on every single level to be unoffensive. You'll carve the joke right out.
Because we're not bad boy comedians, though. We're not like, yeah, suck it.
Yeah, I forgot my T-shirt that just says "offend." I didn't wear that one this ep, but that's
no prisoners, bro. No prisoners comedy.
No prisoners. You know, in the old days, that's another one of my favorites. There was a time when we used to really people didn't get offended. No one get offended. You call them anything, call them what they are, any slur, because they'd come right back at you with a slur, and then everyone hang out, have a beer. It's like, that never happened in your life.
They'd go home and punch their kids, and that wasn't your problem. So all that macho said, well, we didn't know kids got to wear helmets now just to ride, but we didn't wear helmets. Granted, a lot of us had unresolved brain damage issues from falling off bikes and stuff, and therefore, fucking mosquito fog. We didn't follow those rules about what's poison. We ran behind the mosquitoes' trucks, and now our children are 3 inches shorter on average going on. Like, the world advances.
Anytime I hear the whole, the movement to, women need to have a kid by the time they're 30 and, that whole Proud Boys thing. Like, I think of being in an improv class in Chicago. There's a guy, you don't want to judge, but there's a guy, he's like 20 years older than any of us. And I was probably like 22 or something, 23. And the guy was just fat and furious and like would just be a dick to every woman in every scene, literally use the N-word at one point. He's like, no, I'm doing a character. And it comes out that he was like, you're like, what made you go to improv? He's like, I'm just trying new things, with the advent of like women's lib, my wife left me. Like, he blamed. And it's like, women's lib, that was the 70s. This is like late 90s. I'm talking. It was just like, and no one was, we just thought that, to me, I just thought that like, oh, you're the Alamo. Like, you're going to be gone at some point. You're defending it to the death. And now you have guys half my age. They're just like, yep, it's a man's role to drink and fight. It's a woman's role to stay home and raise the kids and not work. That's how it's intended. Let's all wear the same hat.
Never advance. Never understand the concept of advancement. Never understand progress. Things were only better in the past.
Yes.
That's why I love the advent of libertarian comedians who are just not funny, but realize that people have to listen to them for 5 minutes at an open mic, talk about how local city ordinances are preventing them from operating a brewery out of their garage or something.
Well, any kind of lifestyle, let's say advertiser, a person who's like, this is how it should be, and they're a comedian, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to laugh at the lowest common denominator. No one's on stage is just like, I think we're all, look, everyone here does volunteer work, right? Great. So we can talk about, it's always just like, I don't give a fuck. I wake up with my dick and stuffed inside a Chicago pizza, right? I don't give a shit. Like, everything, err on the side of lazy. All I want to do is fuck. Yeah. And of course, because it's the id. You go out to experience the id, to drink as much as you want, to just laugh or forget about your troubles. You don't want someone talking about city ordinances or like,
Oh, wow.
I'm very angry and it should be this way. It's like,
And as I say that, I realize how close I am to turn. Like this whole setup and my look, it's just like, well, then you understand it's the Zionists that want to control the. Oh boy,
I wonder if people like you see your picture in like a flyer and they go, they're thinking you want to be one of those like free staters. Like I think you probably
state of Jefferson's right down the road. You know about the state of Jefferson, right? Was that around when you were younger up here?
No. I don't wait. Maybe sounds familiar.
It's like Northern California, Southern Oregon, and it's a lot. I looked it up because I was driving back and forth. You'd see these flags, state of Jefferson, painted on the side of barns and stuff, and it's just a libertarian free state that people are hoping for.
Wow.
So
this is in. Wait, where are you? Are you in Oregon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just live here now.
Okay, yeah, that's it.
That's all I do, man. I'm in Beaverton. You can see me haunting the New Seasons. They call me the ghost of New Seasons. That's all I am. Just me haggling prices at the hot bar over at New Seasons.
You're haggling at New Seasons. You should haggle at Whole Foods. Just try like Whole Foods.
Beet salad, $8 a pound. Come on, guy.
Look, man, there's nothing I can do. I shouldn't even be here. I hate working here.
I got squirrels eating me out of house at home with these. I've got them raw peanuts. They went ape shit. We got fat squirrels now. I'm really super settled in. If I was 63, people are like, you got it made, but I'm 43. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to do more shit eventually.
Yeah. Damn it.
I'm gonna have to maybe do more stuff in life.
I know. I'm like trying to figure out angles while trying to look after this kid and kind of being like, I know a guy actually who's a writer who is married to a woman who works for Netflix, and they're great pals of mine, and she's doing gangbusters. She's doing great. And he's got a couple things optioned that maybe might go here or the other, but he looks after the two kids and he's like, this is the fucking life, man. Just drinking by the pool, being the most fun dad of all time, and I'm just like, it's like, not that that's my thing, but I kind of wish two things. Could kind of see just looking after the kids and living, even though I would miss comedy, but kind of enjoying that the rest of this year is a fucking wash. COVID is spiking everywhere.
I figured that one out back in June.
I'm not. Yeah. No.
I was like, I'll take 6 months.
That's how I felt too. But it's just so undeniable now. I feel like it's like the difference between Thursday and Saturday, where like Thursday, we knew he lost, but no media would declare it. And then Saturday was finally just like Biden. And it was like, okay, like back in June, July, I'm like, this year's a wash, fuck it, But at the same time, I'm like, well, something comes along. Like now I'm like,
no, there's definitely good moods. There's definitely better moods now, but I'm not celebrating because like, basically, you just told a guy he's getting evicted and he's not getting his security deposit back.
No.
That's
I'm not.
Cause for chaos.
I'm not on that kick of like, it's, I had a fun Saturday, but I was just at the same time, we're like, what's he going to do? What insane shit is he going to pull that will, that people are like, oh, he'll get let out. It's like, no. He's going to make up some narrative that's going to make a lot of people get hurt or killed. And that's probably what's going to it's just like, he is the most exhausting person. Like no politics, but just thinking about those people that have to do useless recounts and aren't going to have a weekend now. Sweet trees, like sweet.
Yeah. Buddy, good vibes, man.
Good vibes. Just
good vibes 2020.
I just had to barf that out. Barf.
Good vibes 2020.
Barf. Thank you. I just had to stage that out. Oh no.
Come on up to the free state of Beaverton.
You should change it. You should your area should be Beaverland. Just change it up.
What do you know that? Do you know this theory of calling it the Tron?
No. What's that?
Calling it Beavertron. And somebody's like, yeah, there's this theory that there's a big electronic beaver that lives under the town. I'm like, what? I don't know. Sean Jordan was sharing that with me. Somebody else told me.
Did you hear it from Ian or something?
I don't know. But then I told you how, Rachel, I found that weird flagpole out by a restaurant that just looks like a strange lightning rod coming up behind a building. We could find no reason for it.
Wow.
It looks like it's a flagpole, but it's like this fat, or it's too fat to be a regular flagpole, and it's just in the backyard of some previous business. There's some weird. I've long held that the suburbs have some of the weirdest secrets because they keep them secret. The city, if somebody's weird, they want you to know they're weird. Here's my bookstore where it's only autobiographies from Dolly Parton. Anyway, do you want to have hot dogs for dinner? Like, that could be your neighbor, and you get it. Everybody's got a Kramer, but the burbs, secret weirdness. Delivering pizzas. If you want to just go see how weird a suburb is, just deliver pizzas.
Yeah.
Now, 9 times out of 10, regular folks. But 1 time out of 10, just a nondescript looking house with a Prius in the driveway, and you just open up, and it's just like 3 goats in bondage gear and 1 guy in a business suit being like, thanks very much, and tips you 20%.
Yeah.
So
don't say nothing to nobody. Here's a 50.
No, we should let's bring up our guest.
Let's bring our guest.
Friend from Los Angeles, resident of Oregon.
Yes,
we
sir.
all have these things in common.
Mm-hmm.
The beach cowboy himself.
Yes.
Let's bring him out. Let's bring on Curt Neill.
Curt Neill, everybody.
Oh,
there he is. There's a real bad boy.
Stuck the landing.
Hey, girls.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
What's up, my girls? How we doing?
Look at
Chilling,
that lean
man.
in.
How are you doing?
That was a good lean in.
How's the?
I live in a fucking cave. I've got nothing else to do but like perfect my. Here, I'm about to join a Zoom look.
Nice.
It is the most handsome landing on this show.
Are you in where
landing?
I can do that every time. Dude. Just on cue. I'm that woman that does the speed posing, but I'm just this.
Are you in Bend right now, man?
No, I spent a couple months right by Bend in Redmond when I first moved because I had a buddy out there, and I used to think Bend was like the most perfect place in the world. But spending 2 months there, I don't like it. It's very Stepford Wives. Everybody's the same.
Interesting.
And they want to be on the river in the summer and the mountain in the winter, and they have a dog and beers, and they all dress the same, and they're not interesting or funny, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, I grew up, growing up in Oregon. I remember going to Bend back when I used to ski when I was a kid. And I thought like Bend was one of those places. I was like, this place is really cool.
When you drive through it, it's like the most picturesque, perfect town in the world.
Right. And there were like just the right amount of kind of like ski weirdos, and there's cool music and stuff.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, I got that vibe too, where it's like, to use the most overused term ever, it's like corporatized.
Yes.
Where, like, it's developed to death.
Everybody wears North Face.
Yeah.
And they have a dog, and they go paddleboarding.
Yeah. I remember going to like a workout class and coming out, and they're just like, if you guys want, we're going to have a happy hour. And it's like, I don't want to drink a beer at this fitness. I want to go back to my hotel and then go to a bar. You don't have to have craft beer literally everywhere.
Well, maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's why we don't
protein.
fit in as like guys with this history in comedy. Like, I think everybody in Bend is just happy, and it fucking feels weird. Like, it's like you guys aren't depressed enough, or you're not drunk enough, or something's going on. Everybody's too comfortable and happy. So like,
they've self-cared themselves out of anything interesting anymore. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, when everything's fine, nothing's fun.
No, it's the most boring thing ever when you're doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me.
But now I'm back in my hometown, Pleasant Hill, Oregon, which is like basically Eugene. It's like just south Eugene.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
Does it have like a Eugene-ish kind of vibe?
Pleasant Hill?
Yes.
Oh no, Pleasant Hill is fucking country boys and rednecks and it's morons. But it's a very small town. It's all sports. It's all fucking tractors and chewing tobacco.
The fact that your connection slowed down, you're like, it's all rednecks and morons.
Yeah. Get used to that. That's going to happen about every 12 minutes.
Well, let's first we're playing for the charity of what's the charity we're playing for?
Yeah, Food for Lane County. It's been really nice. This is a year now. I've been back in my hometown, and I've gotten connected to Eugene more than I ever have before. And I'm falling in love with it. And there's a lot of really cool organizations and programs going on. And Food for Lane County is one of my favorites. They get people food. They help out homeless people. They help out families that need help. It's just like the homeless population seems significant here for as small as a town as it is. It's like 200,000 here or less. And there's like communities of homeless people.
Well, sadly, it's significant everywhere. I think,
I just was surprised at a place like Eugene that's so small. I've been surprised by the like lines of tents in some places.
I've always wondered if like these things overlap when there's a high redemption value for recycling and a college area, because not that I'm not even to make the joke, but you look at,
I know what you mean,
beer swilling college kids, and a 10 cent per can redemption value. If like, listen, we're homeless, but at least we go to a place where we have somewhat of a chance to even scrape together more money than we would have somewhere else. Because my sister went to school at Iowa State, and she's like, yeah, a lot of people, because it's a college town, because the redemption value is higher in that state, that I think the theory was that homeless people will come there from elsewhere because they can get more money.
Yeah.
Well,
and I think Eugene does have a big draw for people that intentionally do want to be homeless. There's a community, there's people like that like do it by choice. I think Eugene, Oregon is especially charming for that kind of person, for one.
Yeah. And it's very, what you'd call crunchy. As they say, but
which I like.
Yeah. But the Iowa State thing reminded me, I was driving through Iowa end of last year, and I stopped off in Iowa around that area to get lunch, just walk around. I was driving between Des Moines and driving to Davenport, and stopped off in, I think that's Iowa City, where Iowa State is. Anyway, so I'm walking down around this corner, and there's a white homeless guy and look younger. And then a black homeless guy comes up in the corner and starts asking for change, and like near him, but not near him. And the white guy goes over and is like, "Hey man, this is my corner." And the guy's like, yeah, I don't care. And he's like, "No, this is my corner." And it's one of those things where it's like, I didn't interject, but it's like, in my mind, I'm like, if that old black man says it's his corner, young white guy, it's his corner. So it doesn't.
But how fascinating
between the two of you, guy, I know where my money's going.
It would have been amazing if the guy was like, "Oh, all right, my bad. I'll go find another one." If they were just like gentlemen's about it,
which I mean, ordinarily you probably would have been.
Yeah,
just like
there's systems of hierarchy and respect that we're not even aware of, and so I'm not going to say how that operation was supposed to go.
No,
there's all sorts of hierarchy rules we didn't even know about in that dynamic.
For sure, for sure.
You know what part of the hierarchy says throw bottles at passing cars, but that was the Gower underpass before we left.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a scene. The whole Curt, like even after you left LA, it got just worse and worse.
I can only imagine
with COVID and
everybody was sad that you left.
Everybody was talking about it, right?
Everybody was bummed out that Curt left.
I threw 4 going away parties.
You weren't really sure that you were leaving,
I needed to make sure the most amount of people possible had a chance to see me and let me know how important I was or was not to them. That was
I was trying to get one of the tank tops that you made for 7 months and couldn't line that one up.
I know, you missed your window.
I did.
Hollywood forever.
Now I probably see you more now that you live a couple hours away. I gotta get down there, hang out in Eugene.
I want to make some new ones, man. I should make some new jerseys.
Well, you got promo. You got to make ones that promo. I didn't know you made a whole dang movie.
Yeah, what is this movie about? I want to know about this movie. I've seen clips and it looks funny as shit.
That's so cool, you guys, to bring it up. I didn't even know you guys wanted to talk about it.
I was like, I don't know if Curt wants to talk about this.
No, that was sarcastic. I begged Kyle to let me come on so I could pitch my movie.
You asked, and I said yes. Also, Rachel's like, it sucks because the name of the movie is
Derek's Dead.
And Rachel's brother's name is Derek. And she's like, every time she sees one of the email promos, she's like, well, why would you email that? Oh, yeah, that's right.
Why is he dead? I specifically named the guy that dies Derek Anderson because that's the name of a guy who played quarterback for a high school team that beat me in a state championship once. But he also went on to be in the NFL. He played for like the fucking Panthers and the Browns and shit.
Wow.
He's like a celebrity, but he called me a bitch in the
He
game.
could take
So I named the dead guy after him.
That's some sweet revenge.
He called me a bitch, and I did nothing. I didn't say a thing. I walked
Was
away.
that being a baby or is that good sportsmanship?
I think
I think it's
probably
smart.
could probably
I'm
call
staying
everybody.
calm. I'm staying calm. You know what happened? Too,
Just you wait. 20 years from now, I'm gonna go broke making a movie, and I'm gonna name it after you.
He's a Trump guy
Gotcha.
now too, so he sucks. But
fuck him.
but it was a really funny moment too, because my whole thing in sports, even football, I just was like friendly. I was always small talking with the other guys, like, "Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
That's
Good to
so
see you
funny.
again."
I love that.
And the guy that I played offense and defense, and the guy on the other side of me both times was the same guy. So I was just like being buddy with him. And there was one time on like a fucking punt or something where I don't think he liked something that was happening, and he took it out on me. He was like punching me and like hitting me in the ribs and like getting me up under my helmet and stuff. And I was like, what's going on? And then at the end of the play, he had to walk past me again. And I was talking to him. I had my hands out and I was going, what's going on, man? I thought we were cool. Why'd you do that? And then because it looked like I was starting shit, Derek Anderson called me a bitch. But I was really asking this guy I thought was my friend what happened.
I love the idea of confusing small talk and shit talking, like a
Right.
coach. Like, you get out there and you shit talk him. You're like, oh man, beautiful day for a game. Like,
It's a nice
oh, he
day,
said
right?
shit talk. He said shit.
I thought you said small talk. I'm sorry, coach.
Oh, do you have any pets?
Can you turn that light on?
Well, what? So, all right. So, I had no idea you were making a whole. What do you make? Feature length?
It's technically a feature, but it's only 73
400
minutes, if you can believe it. I intentionally set out to make a movie that was somewhere between an hour and a half, because movies don't need to be longer than 90 minutes anyways, especially when I want to make just really simple comedies. Like, it doesn't need to be longer than an hour and a half. So I was very happy that it was only an hour and 13 minutes.
Thank you for that.
But it's a full feature. Basically, it's about these two guys who used to be buddies, but they hate each other. And then they're forced to kind of reconnect when their third former best friend, who they also hate, dies and leaves instructions for them to spread his ashes together. So it's kind of a forced reconciliation over this, like, say goodbye to the dead guy thing. Mm-hmm. And then it just gets weirder and weirder from there. You can't even believe what's going to happen. I don't even want to give it away.
Okay.
You don't want to give away the ending to the movie you're trying to promote right now?
I would love to, but I just can't.
You don't want to tell us exactly what happens and then share no information on where to see this movie?
Clay Tatum of Power Violence fame helped me make it at every step. And he was texting me about how to promote it. And he was like, do not be afraid to put the entire movie online. Just like put it on Instagram if you want. Just like however you want to promote it. Put the entire movie out. I don't care.
Wow.
Which was really refreshing, because now I'm excited to like share scenes I think were funny, but maybe I would have overthought giving something away, like a good joke or something.
Oh, right.
What's weird is thinking like, but I mean, obviously a movie's got a lot of financial investment behind it, not like stand up, but to go like to do something where like just having faith in the world of like, I made this thing. I hope you enjoy it. And if you did, you'll come and see me for more things that I make, and stop thinking about the money. And it's a very difficult thing to do because of the time involvement and the financial involvement from like making movies and stuff. But to just try to have faith in the world that the thing I'm going to do, I think is good. And then if you like it, you'll come see the next thing, or somebody will give me money to make the next thing. So that's cool to do.
It's exactly what I want to do. And it's the right thing to do, and I fucking hate every second of it, because it's just like, of course, it's the worst. At any moment, someone could say, "Nope, not good enough." Like at any moment, someone could reject me and not validate me, and it destroyed everything, and I wasted years of my life.
Huge respect for putting it out, for making.
Oh my god, yeah,
because that's things like I know Kyle had that fucking indecision paralysis. I know I had it. Like forever, where it's just like, I don't think this is good, so I'm just gonna take the whole thing.
Yeah, just like, can't risk it.
There's a point where you're just like, okay, what did it have a spark of something that was interesting or funny to you? Put it the fuck out. Someone might love it. I'm not saying put out everything you make, but just like, I've been making little videos and shit on this editing software, and my wife is just like, make more of that shit. And I'm just like, it's not that good. She's like, it'll fucking get better. The only way you can do it is just keep making it.
It's Channel 101, dude. It's Braunger. Kyle, it's Channel 101. It's like, I'm gonna make shit. Who's available? Let's go make something. It might suck, but it'll be funny. Let's go. Let's make something. It's that energy.
I think that's what drew me to stand up too, is at least if it sucks, I can
All
only
on
blame
you.
myself. I didn't waste somebody else's time.
Yeah.
Like,
It's only your
That's
fault.
why I jumped from improv to stand-up.
Yeah.
I want to die alone. I don't want to die
shooting something that like I wrote and made and then not seeing people laugh or being like looking at their watch. I'm like, I've ruined everyone's life. But that's also very egotistical to think that they're very happy. It's like, no, they're at work. They're holding a microphone. They're sweaty and they're tired. They're not going to laugh at all the jokes just because you had a good line reading.
Right.
But that's the mentality from, I think stand-up spoils and rewards you in a way of like, it's all mine. All these people are laughing because I said this and then I made a funny face and nobody else helped me. And so, which is weird having done a stand-up show. Like I was tied to Braunger last week and only done 2 since March. It's like, you write a joke and you're like, okay, if Monday it's not funny, then you could rewrite it for Tuesday. By Friday, it'll work or you'll scrap it. But this is just however many months, 8 months of just me writing one thing down, going, that works. I guess. And then 25 minutes of me just saying brand new thoughts in front of strangers. It's like, oh, I see why open mics are only 5 minutes long now.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I couldn't stick with stand-up at all, because I couldn't do that process of like, I couldn't take that next step once something didn't work the first time I tried it. I couldn't take that next step of like, keep figuring it out and find the joke. As soon as something wasn't funny, I was a failure and I could never show my face again. And I certainly couldn't do that bit again. So stand-up was brutal for me. That's
so you went through the long, arduous process of creating a whole
film.
I
made a feature with my heart and soul and almost killed myself to do it. That was the other option that made the most sense.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I saw where you're like, I made a movie. I almost died doing it. I'm like, oh, Jesus. I just knew you like moved up here and were like hanging out. Looked like you're just having fun. I didn't know you had like,
I mean, I'll like,
cooked your brain.
I'll try to think of the shortest version possible. But like one of the main reasons I was motivated to make the movie is because I was not doing good. I was not happy or comfortable in Los Angeles. And I was like, I think I got to get out of here. But before I do, I got to do something I can like fucking hang my hat on. I got to do one more thing, because if I leave, it could be for good. So I got to get one more thing under my belt, one more thing I could be proud of. And obviously it was the most complicated, stressful thing I could have chosen to do. And it almost broke me. I like fucking fell apart. And like and then especially once it was done, I was like, I absolutely have to fucking get out of here. And this year in Oregon has been great and exactly what I needed. So
that's great.
Mission accomplished.
Really? But I was hanging out with Sean Jordan and he was the same way. He was like, he's like, I was doing everything I wanted to do up here. He's like, the All Fantasy Everything podcast is doing great. He's like, LA can suck real bad.
For good people who are in complete control. Like, it's like, you don't have to be
anyone.
You don't have to have history of anxiety or stress. You can show up and that place can fuck you up.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I had my close calls. I'm honestly, I'm surprised I stuck it out. I mean, it was the early days. I think it was after having my identity stolen and us being robbed at gunpoint. I might have I'm like, maybe I don't need to be here right now.
Well, that's the interesting thing though, too. I can sit here and talk about how much LA almost broke me. But then when you really start talking to people, friends, and reminiscing about specific memories, or you look through some pictures and you go, well, wait a minute, I had a fucking good time too. Like It wasn't all doom and gloom. Yeah. There was just enough doom and gloom that I had to change something. But like there was a lot of fun in between.
Yeah. I mean, the fun in between is like the thing that I've tried to focus on more rather than the disappointments. I mean, it's a fucking obvious and stupid Disney-ish thing to say, but like,
right. But
I was looking back on what a lot of people would consider probably, like a wasted decade where I was like, yeah, but I forged these incredible friendships and had these incredible times because I didn't fucking put a thing on myself of like, oh, by this age you have to be this, and by this age you have to do this, and as a result, it's like I'm having a kid at what they consider a late age, but it's not to me. I don't give a shit. Like I'm glad I had all those experiences.
Yeah, it's like LA's like a liberal.
Thank you.
It's like a liberal arts college that doesn't tell you when you're supposed to graduate. Yeah, because everybody's like, I'm a artist and I'm this and that, and we just drink and hook up and it's fun, but there's no like, all right, here's your degree.
Right.
Go be a real person. So that's why you could just do it forever there, and you can like be fine with it.
Well, because you can be a 20th year senior, and it's like it's not weird that you're still on campus.
The only thing that ruins you is the self-awareness of like, oh, hold on, man, I'm 38.
Wait a minute.
Thank God none of us hit like 2018, and all of a sudden, and now you manage a Foot Locker. Like, fuck? No, you're done. No more fun. No more fun.
Yeah.
That's your
I'll
life.
take it.
Those are your 5 kids.
You could be the best goddamn Foot Locker manager out there and still be having fun with life. So I'm not going to judge that.
Oh, exactly.
Good save, pal. Good spin.
It's good spin. My point
party manager at Foot Locker.
If any of us suddenly got like any level of responsibility where you have to write other people's schedules, we'd be fucked.
Fuck that.
That's my point.
I just want to do what I want to do. I don't want to be responsible for other people.
I'm not disrespecting anybody who's got that job.
I would carry foul cards around as the manager of Foot Locker with the stripe, and just like kid arguing with his mom, throw a card in there.
Throw a card.
This is corny and hacky filmmaker talk, but I just like started to develop a different movie where the first scene, a guy gets called into his boss's office, and the boss is like, "I love you, man. You're cool. I want to give you a raise. I want to promote you." And the guy's like, "Ooh, promotion. What is that? More hours? Responsibilities? No, thanks. I'm good where I am." And it turns into like him having to choose between taking the promotion or getting fired. And he's just like, "I got to take off then. Sorry, man." I just will not take the promotion.
When I was we were, I don't know if you know Curt, but like my wife and I were just on the road for 2 months.
I caught a little bit of it.
We drove all the way to Massachusetts. And so this dude, I hung out with a guy, grew up with Kara. He owns a painting business, house painting business. And he's like the biggest, like fun time party guy, smokes weed, drinks, and like but has the most amazing, he's a townie, what they call a townie, because his grandparents are from there too. But like, he has the most amazing.
Braunger somehow just learned about townies this summer.
that was a very funny, like, by the way, this is what townie is.
So you'd be surprised the amount of people I say that to, and they're like, what?
It's the Walsh brothers. The Walsh brothers are townies.
Absolutely. And it's like such a strong Massachusetts term, but he basically like, he was saying like, I was like, how's business? He's like, it's great. It's killing me. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, the more successful you are, the harder you got to work. This is bullshit. I kind of love that.
Well, it's the same with everything. It's the same with having a kid. It's beautiful. It's awful. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it's a challenging idea to put to somebody where it's like, well, don't you want more? Like you see somebody at the middle of a company or something like, but don't you want more? It's like, but that person is looking at what they get for their money. What they're doing is they've bought free time. They haven't bought material goods, but what they have bought is free time, and they've bought that with not taking on more responsibility. Now you can go, the lowest level of that is do just enough to not get fired, which is really
DoorDash at 36.
Oh my God. If I could write that on a resume, that would be like, I'm going to do, you won't be able to fire me legally, but I will not be reviewed well.
Yeah. I'm going to get C pluses on my performance reviews every time.
Yeah, you're not going to have me train a new employee. I'll tell you that much. I'm not going to be the go-to guy for that. But it's the people like you don't know somebody's life. Making fun of like one thing I liked about LA was seeing somebody who was in their 40s and they'd be like a server at a restaurant. Now maybe somebody in their hometown be like, what a loser. But that guy'd be like, I make my own hours. You make great money being a server in LA, depending on where you work. Yeah. And the guy he's been there long enough, can move his hour. My friend in Chicago was like, server in her 40s. She made her own hours, made great money, and got to afford things to live and take some vacations. But also, you have the free time to go, hey, Friday night, I can get Friday off, no problem. And I got a couple bucks, so we can go. And you can live your life. People, it's the whole work to live versus live to work shit that people forget about.
That's what I'm going through now. I've been living with my parents for a year. So anytime I run into some kid from high school, it's like, oh God, living with your parents, huh? But it's like, well, let's think about it for a second. Like I'm not paying any rent. That's pretty cool. I've got an entire floor of a house to myself, the most space I've ever had in my life. I get free food all the time. I get to see my niece and nephew twice a week. And like, I can do whatever I want. I can fuck around on DoorDash to make a few bucks, and then I can go shoot a short film with a buddy or whatever. If Kyle was like, hey, come hang out in Portland for the weekend, I'd be like, yeah, all right. And then I could just go for 3 days and it doesn't matter.
Let's not go inviting ourselves.
If Kyle texts me tomorrow and says, come stay with us for like a month, I could be like, you know what? I can pull that off.
Kyle wanted to give me something like a gift. I could come pick it up.
I really like it. If Kyle was like, I got this extra $10,000 I don't know what to do with. Do you want this extra $10,000? I could take it because I'm flexible.
And he's like, don't. It's
I spent it on this new right-wing radio outpost, guys. I spent all my money.
He's got to become the next Ben Shapiro or something.
Oh, so many more people would follow Kyle. With Kyle had Ben.
It's not hard. Find a guy who says he works at UPS and he saw a ballot or something. Like, and then you'll have views.
Oh yeah, you're good right there. Yeah.
Well, tell me I didn't see fucking.
Just get a sack of crumpled like paper recycling. I found these ballots. Here's the evidence.
My favorite one was there was a van marked Biden Harris by the entrance of a polling place, like dealing with papers, and they're like, why they wouldn't do it from their van, guys? They would get a different van, or they would hide the van. There's a couple of
the guy that's like throwing ballots has a Biden hat on.
Yeah, he's
like,
Joe
why
Biden
do you
himself.
Work here?
Joe Biden himself is at the back door of the Pennsylvania. Change it.
Yeah, they got Joe too old to run away.
I'm senile. I don't know. I'm old. I lost my way.
The two best takes that I saw were like, if there was voter fraud, how do all these Republicans get voted in? Because it was listed on the same ballot.
Yeah.
And also, if there was voter fraud, how the fuck did Mitch McConnell still get in? Because that motherfucker would have been second to go behind Trump.
Oh, yeah.
I got a great one.
First.
I got a great one from some dipshit I went to high school with where he sent me this video of like, watch what you do when you go to the Pennsylvania voting thing and you go this and you click this. Look at these birthdays of these registered voters. It's 1/1/1800. They're born in 1800. These people are voting. This is bullshit. And I go, well, let me check it out. I'll go to the same website. I click the first thing I see, like the arrow that reveals more information. I'm like, well, that probably has something interesting. And then it has a note that says, when you see this birthday, it's because for like protection reasons, private reasons, people don't want their birthday revealed. More often than not, it's because of domestic violence. They don't want their birthdays on their registration because they've been like beaten by their husbands. And these guys are using it as like, look, some guy born in 1800 voted.
Well, as if no one would notice that.
They wouldn't put it on the website.
Would be like 1800. Yeah. Wow, you've been around a long time. Congrats, old timer. You don't look a day over 41.
Or the flip is let's cheat and let's use these old guys and leave the birthdays on the registration on the website.
I'm voting under the name Pecos Bill.
It's proof that their illegal immigrants are voting because of the socialized healthcare in Canada. If you were born in 1800, you still have a chance of being alive right now because of the health care. So you came down, you voted illegally, but you answered the question honestly about your birthday.
It's illegal immigrants and ghosts of cowboys. Those are the two people that they're using for fraud. They're raising the spirits of the old West, harnessing them with black magic and making them vote for Biden Harris.
Biden, the last man these cowboys would vote for.
They would never vote for a candidate of color.
You pedophile who's a liar. No.
It's so weird trying to buy gun shit now because I look like this and I'm buying gun shit, but like I have to. Of course, you're buying
guns though. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kyle gets guns in the mail.
Of course,
I gotta interact with these fuckers where it's like previous state of residence, whatever, California. Like, oh man, California, that must have sucked. A bunch of goddamn. And then I'm just like, well, what gun do you have? Like this one. I'm like, what's the nicer one? And I just buy 2 of those.
What's something a nicer person would have?
No, actually, none of that happened at all. But it is kind of like
good story.
No, what accent do you need to hear out of me so I don't have to interact with you fuckers about what I'm trying to buy?
You should get the next better gun than his, and then have it engraved with the lyrics to "Kokomo" by the Beach Boys, and like have it like have it painted like turquoise or something. Just make it the most Californian.
Yeah,
when he tells you what gun he has, ask what's the next most expensive one. I'll take the
just engrave it. I'm here to suck. I'm here to suck dick and pump lead, and I'm almost out of dicks. Will that fit on the handle? Can you know what?
Will that fit? Badass thing to say.
If that doesn't fit on the barrel, give me a gun with a bigger barrel.
Find the right barrel. I should be a gun. I don't think I should ever be a gun guy. I think I'd cause real problems on accident if I had guns. I don't think
No.
I'm too clumsy.
The thing that happened that I already made a joke about is I dropped one because I had too much moisturizer on my hands.
I had too much hummus on my my frappuccino. Sorry.
I spilled at Starbucks.
I spilled the pumpkin spice on my gun.
What am I going to do? Not get it with whipped cream? Of course I got it with whipped cream. Otherwise, what's the point of it?
I dropped my avocado toast on top of my gun. Turns out it tasted pretty good, but I couldn't shoot.
I licked it right off.
I licked the avocado off the barrel and I shot my hole in my cheek.
That's basically, now we're just going Chief Wiggum. Now we're just not even writing new jokes. We're just doing Chief Wiggum bits.
Hey, he had donuts on his.
My gun doesn't fit in my Prius. That's my last one.
my street sweeper.
My smart car can't carry my rifle.
And that's nice work, Mars.
The smart car with two ends of an AK-47 hanging out the side.
The gun rack, the hunting gun rack, they're sticking out wider than the car.
A Prius with a gun rack.
Scraping someone's truck in the Sportsman's Warehouse parking lot. Ooh, sorry.
Asking any real patriots to have a problem with it. Are you a patriot? Then you don't have a problem with this.
2A, bro, 2A.
M60 on the side of my Chevy Volt just weighs it down on one side.
Flintstones ribbed it. Well, yeah, I'm always worried about, like, should I be talking about that stuff online? But I don't know, whatever.
Say I don't care anymore.
Come and take them, man.
I think there's far worse, Kyle.
Come and take them.
If anything, someone at the Bureau of Tobacco and Firearms is like reading yours and laughing. And like, don't go after that guy.
Is that case behind you full of guns? That
yes,
leather case. No, Matt, that's your China. I'm
an old timey mobster.
That's not leather.
No, that is a Gibson Explorer right there.
It's a guitar that turns into a gun.
Guitar that shoots hot licks, man. I don't know if that's
sorry.
Yeah,
let's start a band. Now we're both in Oregon.
Yeah, you guys should start a fucking band. What's going on?
Does Rudy play drums? We need a drummer.
Rudy's Rudy's full.
Some other guy we know.
Matt knows Rudy. Matt been to Korea.
Oh yeah,
that's right. He was the Korea guy for like 10 years, huh?
Yeah. Where's Rudy now?
He lives in Eugene.
Rudy's in Eugene.
I've connected and become buddies with him and Seth Milstein and a few other people because they run some of the shows here and they're actually cool. Unlike
Let's Comedy. Yeah, what is it? Let's Comedy is Let's Comedy is Indiana. They have It's Comedy.
I think something like that. But Rudy, it's fun. Rudy went to a high school. He played football with a kid whose like mom was my teacher. So like the second I met him, I'm like, well, I'm at high school football. You know, Chad Carpenter, his mom was my teacher. That happened in like 10 seconds within meeting him.
Good people.
That's Oregon for you.
Yep.
Doesn't happen in any other state. When you run into someone and you actually know someone else, never happens anywhere else.
High school
I hate that shit. Only people from Alabama bring mashed potatoes. Everybody likes mashed potatoes. Shut up.
They're called funeral potatoes in Utah.
For real?
Scallop potatoes are called funeral potatoes.
That's too bad because that's potatoes.
I was at a Chuckarama, which is a buffet that's in Utah.
I needed the explanation.
Okay. If you like buffets or if you don't like buffets.
I do.
I love an organized buffet. This buffet, it had islands. So it's like, here's the salad island. Here's the pasta island. Here's the potato and carbs island. Huge fan. Chuckarama.
I love
Chuckarama.
But I was there with Rachel. Her family's from there. And all of a sudden I just see I'm looking at stuff like funeral potatoes. I'm like, what the fuck?
Holy shit.
Scallops.
Oh, sorry, it's my gun going off.
Well, I think we got to cut it short, man.
Do we?
An hour. Oh, so let's look at our donors here.
Oh, is this live?
Oh, these are our donors from the last episode. We will announce the donors for yours on the next episode. Yeah, we got to announce these donors. Hold on, Kurt. Let's announce
so we
the donors.
got Anxious Pangolin, $10. Slacker Joe, $20. Whiskey Magoo, $10. B. Arthur Miller, nice, $10. No Coin, $20. Snip Ticker, what's up? $20. Swayze Meteor, you're still my favorite name, $25. Thank you. And Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Oh, Kevin Shirmizu. Yeah, hell yeah.
Thanks
What's
to
up?
new patrons, Chris Wilkin, Nat Willings, Stephen Murray, Mark A. McConaughey, Vivian, and John C.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, John C.
Thanks,
Reilly.
guys. So, Kurt, tune in next time so we can see what kind of bag your charity gets. I'm
Yeah,
psyched.
Yeah, food for Lane County.
Food for Lane County. And before I forget, the
movie.
Dead, it's available for order.
Hold on.
Which is cool and it's cool and it's a good. Oh, I did crap out again.
You slowed down.
did at a perfect moment, right?
It always happens when it matters. I'll tell you that much.
Of course.
It's the Chinese.
It's the fucking Chinese.
They're
They
listening.
don't want me to make money off this movie.
They're listening.
It's called Derek's Dead. It's available for pre-sale on iTunes, and then it'll be somewhere else later. Pre-sale would be sick. It makes it look cool, but you don't have to. You can wait.
Yeah, get his movie, everybody.
Make it look cool, though.
Thanks, guys. It would be cool if you made it look cool.
Let's make it look cool. Thanks for coming on, Kurt.
Appreciate you guys. Good to see you.
Oh,
Good to
yeah,
see you, buddy.
Kurt.
Cheers, everybody.
See you soon.
Thank you for listening to Hey Girl on Hold the Phone. Created by Matt Braunger and Kyle Kinane. Produced by Jake Browne. Hey Girl broadcasts live every Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific at holdthephone.tv. Support the show on Patreon at heygirlshow.com.